Harry Varden's classic swinging procedure, which I call a vertical chop and roll, concerns how you cause your left arm and golf club to move in space so that the ball gets hit well. And the left arm and golf club can work as a human flail. Flails are like nunchucks or medieval maces where you can put two sticks together joined by a piece of rawhide or a chain or a rope that allows one stick to hinge around the other. In golf, the golf club is a stick or a lever, and your whole left arm is another one. And with this connection at the wrist, you can see how this golf club can hinge around this left arm at the wrist. Now, a normal flail can hinge freely quite a bit, but the golfer's flail, or Harry Varden's, you can see this club is hinged about 90 degrees around this arm here at the joint, and then it unhinges only to there. It's about a 60-degree unhinging, and it can't unhinge anymore. It's also hinging and unhinging about the narrow edge of the arm, not the broad. This would be broad hinging, or a broad hinge action, and this is narrow. Anatomists would call this a radial deviation of the hand and club around the radius bone, and then an ulnar deviation toward the sharp, narrow ulna bone. And it's often misunderstood because if you see it in stop action from this face-on view, it appears that this club should be able to keep unhinging. And then once you see it from a different point of view, it looks like maybe it did. But if you look from this angle, you really can't see that unhinging very well. So hopefully you create the capacity for this club to hinge to a 90-degree angle from the start, but it's really only about 60, and then it unhinges 60. And if it only hinges and unhinges into the narrow side of your arm, and then away from that narrow into the other side, the face will remain however you started it, whether you started it opened or closed or whatever, but square would be vertical to that camera view. And we learn to operate this flail. The upper stick goes from the wrist all the way up to the shoulder. And this hinge is a lot different than this hinge. This hinge is the most complex joint in the body. It's a universal joint, but it's also, this arm is moved in even more complex fashions by the collarbone joint and the scapula joint around your sternum and thorax, and very complicated gliding joints here. Very talented upper stick. And this upper stick has such a range of motion that you can cause this flail to not only revolve around your sternum, but rotate as well. And that's a property you want to cultivate. And then, believe it or not, the trailing arm, or right arm for me, is what moves the flail the most, gives it the most range of motion, and the most power and speed. So I can grab this flail in my right arm and hand and pull it back by bending this arm and this hand in a manner that I can then fling it. And so you can start with your feet together and really learn how to draw it back very smoothly and friction-free joint here. This one you don't worry about. The bending of the right arm and hand will cause this flail to hinge at the wrist. And then the straightening of the right arm against the flail will cause the flail to unhinge before impact. And then a certain way to drive this flail with a karate chop and roll motion will cause the flail to unhinge, revolve, and rotate. And then once this one's done driving it, it becomes part of the flail because you don't let go. And it's an amazing little tool once you learn how to operate it effectively. And it's very easy to get caught up in trying to get the legs and the spine and the core muscles to try to operate it, but they really can't do much to it. But they certainly provide a whole lot of range of motion, primarily your legs and not your spine. And so if you can get your legs to twist your body, all of it, not certain parts more than others, at least 45 degrees. And if you can draw the upper portion of the flail, your whole left arm, you can draw it back at least to 9 o'clock. And hopefully at least inwards from the target line about 20 degrees. And then drive that narrow portion of the flail, the whole flail, right down to the right of you. And that leads, you wouldn't twist your body with your legs. And you let the flail unhinge, and what caused it to unhinge still has power left over. And it just keeps driving it freely through the ball. And since you're holding on to it, the body will follow. It's a very slippery, easy flail to operate. And you should be able to operate it with great ease of motion, great balance, be able to rest immediately afterwards. And do it over and over again without any fear of injury.